Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sivadas Madhavan, Associate Professor of English, Untitled University, Ethiopia. Today I am going to talk about the research methodology, that is the third chapter of the research paper. It's almost 15% of the total size of the research paper. And it is the third chapter, first introduction, next review of literature, and then comes the third chapter, the research methodology. The title of the research methodology means the study of methods. But methods refers to the techniques, the tools, the instruments, the process that a researcher employs to conduct the research. So, when a researcher writes the third chapter, he has the methodological approach in his mind. Approach is a wider term. Approach means the generic umbrella which shelters research design, research methods, research paradigm. So research design is the blueprint, or design is the strategy to select the research type like qualitative research, quantitative research, or mixed method. So qualitative research is the human experience, the views, ideas, opinions, etc. Quantitative research is the numerical calculation, that is mathematical or statistical calculation, which is completely unbiased. And the third type, that is the mixed method, is a combination of both qualitative method and quantitative method. So there in mixed method you can expect both the human experience and numerical calculation together. So that is what most of the time the students follow, the mixed method. And the qualitative method is from the general to the specific, from general to specific. That means you don't have much idea about it, but you approach the participants and get the idea, and you will form the hypothesis or the theory. So from general to specific, that is the qualitative research. And quantitative research is just the opposite, from specific to general. That means the theory or the idea is known to the researcher, and he tests it or he examines the theory or the hypothesis and come to a conclusion that it is true or it is not true. So, this quantitative research is deductive method. So that's why methods is philosophical and theoretical framework of the research. So methodology comes in the philosophical strain of research topics like ontology, epistemology, methodology, and axiology. So the third one, methodology, is a philosophical concept, and that's why it contains the research paradigms also. Research paradigms means the overview, the research pattern, or the research model, or the research style, which the scholars share all over the world. So research paradigm will also come in research methodology. What paradigm do you use, or what pattern you use, that will be there. So it's also based on the research type, whether it is qualitative research or quantitative research. The research paradigm for qualitative research cannot be the research paradigm for quantitative research, and it cannot be the same for the mixed method of research. So all these come together. So in the research, in the quantitative research, in the deductive approach, a common practice is you come from the general to the specific. General idea you have the theory or you have the hypothesis, you test it, verify it, and come to the conclusion. So it is a time-tested method starting from the days of Aristotle, more than 2,400 years ago. Aristotle was the exponent of this deductive method. That is, give some premises and come to the concluding premise. For example, they say all living beings are mortals. Socrates is a living being, therefore Socrates is mortal. So two premises are given, and from the meaning of these two premises you come to the conclusion that Socrates is mortal. It was unquestionable for a long time, almost for 2000 years, but in 17th century Francis Bacon opposed it. He said it cannot be true, because this name Socrates need not be a man. Socrates can be the name of an abstract idea or a stone or something else. So in that case, how can it be correct that Socrates is mortal? So there comes the idea of inductive method. Inductive method means you are not coming from some theory to the conclusion. You are coming from the ideas and come to the theory. That means you are forming the theory. You are not testing the theory, you are just forming the theory. Observe it, and after observation you come to the theory or the conclusion. That was the inductive method. Inductive method is just opposite to the deductive method. So inductive method has another offshoot, that is abductive method. Abductive method is also like that, from data to theory, but in the case of abductive method, that is not commonly used by the research scholars. It is mainly used by the policemen or for the researchers in the medical field. For example, they have very few data to depend on to come to the conclusion. See, for example, in the case of a policeman, he gets a very few ideas about the thief, and with that he has to proceed and come to the conclusion that this particular man is the thief. Or the same way, medicine. You don't have much about the knowledge of a new disease. For example, corona. So when you have the symptoms, very few symptoms you have, so from these few symptoms you have to come to a diagnosis. So that's also like inductive method, abductive method, but that is not common among the researchers. So when you do this, there can be errors. The errors of the researchers are of two types. One is type 1 error and type 2 error. Type 1 error. See, for example, to explain that, there is a funny story. The story of the boy, the shepherd boy who was keeping the sheep, and he cried, "Wolf, wolf," to cheat or to laugh at the people. First, when they heard the sound, they came. The boy was crying, and when they came, he laughed at them, saying that I fooled you, I poked fun at you. But afterwards, the people knew that, oh, this boy is always teasing us, so they didn't come. And at last, when the real wolf came, he cried, but there was no help. No one came, thinking that the boy was cheating them. So here there are two types of errors. The first one, when they came, there was no wolf. That means they came to see the wolf, but there was no. And the second one is, they didn't come, but there was wolf. So that means you can replace it with effect. So instead of wolf, effect. So first you say there is effect of your study, but there was no effect. Second one, you said that there is effect, but there was no effect. Sorry, that is the first one. Second one is, you said there is there is no effect, but there is effect. So this way, the story of the boy who cried wolf will give you the clue for this type 1 error and type 2 error. So that has to be taken care of by the research people. And in mixed method, both the good qualities of qualitative research and quantitative research will be used. So that means there will be human experience and the numerical calculations in the mixed method of research. So these are the main things that I want to tell you about the research methodology, and there are so many other things which we will come to later on in the next chapter. Thank you.